Hey, brothers and sisters, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, lads and ladesses, friends and neighbours. Welcome once again to Freeline FM with me, Israel Ben Heeman, sometimes known as Doc Hemingway or Doc Roy. I thought I would do this quick video today because I'm reading some research today which agrees entirely with my own understanding, really, of certain aspects of cardiovascular disease. Now, this is about a risk factor, and there are lots of risk factors in the global pandemic of cardiovascular disease, and it is a global pandemic. There are literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people around the world every year die quite needlessly because they have a cardiovascular event. And very often you find that atherosclerosis, or furring up of your pipes, if you like, is usually the culprit. And furring up your pipes or calcifying up your pipes, getting your arteries all furred up and clogged up, is something that eventually we all do. It's unavoidable to say that it is avoidable would be foolish, because by the time you get to my age, I'm just coming up to 75, there's bound to be some deposits in your arteries and so on. But one of the things that I've been certain of all along, I'm going back now to the 1960s, which is when I first started studying medicine. In the 1960s, some guy came along with what we today call artificial sweeteners. In other words, tiny little white pills that you can pop into your coffee or your tea instead of putting a spoonful of sugar in. I've known right from day one. I don't know whether it was just instinct that told me from day one, but certainly later on in life, research has shown that artificial sweeteners are absolutely not safe for you. They are not heart friendly. And whilst I do a certain amount of research in cardiovascular disease, my area of research expertise, if you will, is in arteriogenesis, which is a little bit divorced from the possibility of atherosclerosis caused by artificial sweeteners. Now, why I'm mentioning it today, the reason for mentioning this today, is because a couple of guys in Madrid in Spain have achieved something of a breakthrough. They've literally made it possible for everybody to understand that artificial sweeteners do indeed increase cardiovascular risk. Now, the doctors, Dr. Francisco Gomez Delgado, MD, and Dr. Pablo Perez Martinez, MD, who are members of the Spanish Society for Atherosclerosis and of the Spanish Society of Internal Medicine. They've coordinated an updated review of the leading scientific evidence surrounding artificial sweeteners, something that somebody definitely needed to do, and evidence that is showing that far from positively affecting our health, they have negative effects on the cardiovascular system. Okay, let's try to simplify things here. We all know that putting a teaspoon of sugar in your tea today won't do you any harm. But if you do it every time you have a cup of tea every single day, you're going to be using a lot of sugar, and eventually it's going to clog up your arteries. Okay. Now, one of the best things that you can do is, as you enter into midlife, you need to get onto an aspirin a day. But don't just do it on your own. Don't forget, there are lots of guys out there who have spent their entire lives studying medicine and went to the torture chamber of med school for years and years and years, and then served an unnecessary apprenticeship in hospitals as an intern for another six years, taking a full 10 years before the poor so-and-so can actually call himself a doctor. And they are all going to tell you the same thing: don't keep putting sugar in your tea. And at the same time, now these two lovely doctors in Spain are saying, don't put artificial sweeteners in your tea or your coffee or anything else either, because they can have the same effect. Problems in your cardiovascular system. And as I mentioned, if you want to keep your blood thinned down a little bit, talk to your doctor, get a hold of him, say, look, I'm getting a bit worried, I'm 55 years old, I'm not on top of my game anymore, I don't play for England at football anymore, I don't play basketball for the United States, and I don't play hockey for Canada anymore. What can I do? Well, the first thing is to ensure that you keep your cholesterol down, okay? LDL, right? Don't worry about the other kind of cholesterol, because that's okay, that's good cholesterol. LDL, that's the one that you need to keep subdued. You need to keep it down. And if you go for your annual blood test, once you're over 55, you have an annual blood test, if you're starting to show the development of high LDL readings, you know that you're on your way to getting your arteries all furred up, and you need to do something about it. So, thin down your blood with an aspirin and ask your doctor if he thinks you might respond well to a low voltage pill or a syrup. You get a syrup now as well, to keep your LDL very low. And if you think about it from that positive point of view, starting to do things in your late 40s and your 50s, like taking a low dosage daily aspirin and taking a daily dose of something that combats LDL, small pill, something like that, just like the aspirin. Take them under the supervision of your medical practitioner. Don't do this on your own. Make sure you talk to your doctor. He's the expert. Follow him or her exactly as they direct. Do that and you'll be fine. And the thing is, By doing this and recognizing that taking these sweeteners is adding to your cardiovascular risk, this can keep you head above the water and lead you on into a very long life, into your 70s, 80s, 90s, without having a cardiovascular event. Now, I want to go out from this video the way I came in, and that's on the sweeteners or artificial sweeteners, saccharin. These sweeteners are not just available to put into your tea or your coffee, okay? You're going to find these things in almost every fizzy pop drink you buy, and even some that are not fizzy. So look, if you want to drink something that is beneficial to your general health and is completely isotonic, there's nothing better on this planet than plain, simple H2O, water. It cleans out all your system, it relieves your thirst, and it keeps all your bodily functions ticking over very, very nicely, thank you. Okay? Forget all the fizzy pop drinks. They're absolutely running wild with different types of sugar or substitutes thereof. So, the substitutes or the saccharins and various other artificial sweeteners, we now know from our friends in Madrid in Spain, are absolutely a terrible risk for cardiovascular disease. So stop using them, and you'll not just find them in your tea and your coffee. If you use those little pills, you'll find them in every fizzy pop drink, and you'll find it in absolutely staggering amounts in those fizzy pop drinks. And as much as possible, try to stay away from overly processed foods, you know, cans of corned beef, things like that. You know what I mean by overly processed foods. Stay away from them. Keep away from the sugars, keep away from the saccharins and stuff like that. Drink a lot of water, and God bless you, you're on your way to long life and reasonably good health. Nobody lives forever. Nobody gets out alive, but you can get a lot closer to coming out of it alive. That is to say, you can get a lot closer to having a long, meaningful, happy and healthy life. Because believe me when I tell you, if you ain't got your health, you got nothing. I'm Doc Roy. I'll see you on the next one when I'm doing a criticism of some kind of thing that we either eat or drink. Until then, have a good time. Bye for now, and God bless you.